Hello and welcome to TA for Traders. It's Friday the 29th of September. I'm Nigel Croft. This is the first video on a new section that I'll be putting on my YouTube channel on sentiment and money flow. What I'll be doing is looking at the charts on various asset classes, seeing where the charts look good, where the money flow is going, and getting an overall assessment of sentiment in the market. I hope you enjoy it. Let's look at those charts. Okay, so all the charts I'll be looking at in this video are all daily charts, so each candle will represent one day. Now, we're starting off here with the US government 10-year yield chart. This week we've had Janet Yellen pronouncing that rates probably will go up in December, and we've had Mark Carney today saying that UK rates will be moving up imminently, interest rates that is. So what's happened this week is there's been a sell-off in government bonds that's caused the yield to rise, and you can see that on this chart. The 10-year yield is up towards resistance at the 240 level. It's got solid momentum. If it breaks above the resistance, expect that to move higher. On the UK, sorry, I couldn't find the code for the 10-year yield, so we're looking at the 10-year gilt price. So this is the reverse of the yield. So you can see that we've had a big fall in gilt prices, so yields have gone up. You can see we're slightly oversold, maybe had a non-confirmation there on the daily, so a short-term rally should be expected on UK gilt prices, which would bring the yield slightly down again. On the European, here we're looking at the German government bond yield. Again, it's gone up during this week. Again, you can see there is resistance to the upside, but there is positive momentum. Really, one would expect that to move higher. Moving on to equities, this is the Dow Jones. You can see that it just remains in its uptrend. 20 is well above the 50. Okay, there's not a lot of upside momentum, but it just keeps going, and really one should just stick with it. There's not a lot of selling pressure. Volatility is low. Let's just quickly look at the VIX. I'll just throw that in. There we go. The VIX, as you can see, is virtually very close to an all-time low. Did pick up earlier in the week and has now drifted off again. So despite the rise in US yields, we're seeing still low volatility in the equity market. The equity markets in the States are very calm. And and that's now coming through into Europe. You can see here the Euro Stoxx 50 has had a good week. I did a video on it earlier in the week. Please do look at that. We've broken a downtrend. All the moving averages are moving up. We had a golden cross on the 20 crossing the 50. Solid momentum. Looks like it's going higher. And on the FTSE, I didn't do a video this week on the FTSE. Just looked to last week. There was a concern on the FTSE. I stuck with it mainly because of what I could see in the States, but that has proven to be correct. It did hold with the 200, although the 200 we were below it, it was still giving support. We've now moved back above the 200, and it looks like we're probably going to get a pincer formation between the 50 downtrending moving average and the rising 200. Momentum has increased this week with the RSI going back above 52. Then Nikkei, I've just done a video today on the Nikkei. That does look positive for the Asian markets. There was a golden cross at the start of the week. I'll just throw you the weekly on here. So we're just moving to a weekly, and you can see we're breaking into new high ground above the 20 week with positive momentum. All looks good. I'll just quickly show you Apple, because although the US market looks good, there has been a sectorial shift in that the tech stocks have come under pressure. Through this week, if you look at my stock videos, you'll see I've covered all the FANGs, and then today I covered Microsoft. In fact, Microsoft, although it's not a FANG, it's in the FANG Plus index, looks the better of than the other four. All the others have done what Apple has done here, has broken down, and does look slightly vulnerable with downside momentum increasing. So be aware of the sectorial shift that's happened in the markets away from the techs. Okay, then in commodities, here we've got the weekly on the crude, US crude, WTI crude. You can see that we're towards the upper boundary of the trading range. It needs to break that. That's going to be solid resistance. That goes up to round about the between now and the 55, and I think it'll find it difficult to break through that. That's the key. But today, this week, there has been move into. Let's look at the daily. There has been a move into oil. We have just fallen off through the week. A very good day on Monday. Here we'd got overextended away from the moving averages. Expect to pull back, and we got overbought. On the moving on to other commodities, gold. It's now fallen below the 50-day moving average. Sentiment has shifted out. We did have a blip at the end of last week on the geopolitical concerns of North Korea, but that's now that's all been forgotten basically. It'll be interesting to see if this rise in 50-day, even though we're below it, gives any support. But momentum is negative on gold. And finally, moving on to currencies, here's the dollar index. So you can see that the dollar has had a reasonable period. This is a daily for the last 2 weeks. It does seem to be wanting to go up and break or test the downtrend. Downtrend line would be around about 119.58 at the moment, so slightly above where we are. So keep an eye on that. On the euro US dollar, that's now fallen. This is the daily. It's fallen below the 50. We are going to get very concerned if the 20 now crosses the 50, so be aware of that. And again, there is negative momentum from the RSI and MACD. So that has been TA for traders, looking at sentiment and money flows in the market. I hope you found this video of interest. I'll be trying to do it on a weekly basis if I can find time. So I do have another job where it does make money. So this is an extra video I'm going to add on to my YouTube channel. Hopefully, as I said, it might be a weekly. Many thanks for watching. Please remember the videos I do on YouTube are my opinions and they're not an investment recommendation.